It is Jordan Singleton's post-match pint. I'm Neil Atkinson, that's Phil Blundell. This is Harriet Pryor. Jordan is behind the camera doing the business after Liverpool beat Darmstadt by 3-1. They are a Bundesliga team this year. They didn't look like a Bundesliga team this year, Phil, in the first 10 minutes or so. But all Liverpool can do is take advantage of it, and they do that before Darmstadt calm themselves down a little bit.
Yeah, the second goal it's a great example of that in that I think the German season starts a week later, so they're probably not quite up to the same pace as us, and it sort of showed with the second goal where Salah mugs the left back. He mugs the left back.
You've got to respect how much he knows about the schedules in every single European country.
They only play 34 games. They get well more time off. Those 4 games are massive, I think.
Phil,
Go on.
2 midweeks a year they play.
Only 2 midweeks.
Depressing that, isn't it? Yeah. But that goal where Salah mugs the left back and all of a sudden we're in. And all Jota's got to do is beat the goalkeeper. It's very simple. It was almost as simple as the goal that they scored, in fairness, which is just a ball through the middle of the pitch, which is a lot of... We've seen a fair bit of it in pre-season, and we want to eliminate it. I thought it was impressive how sort of 20-25 minutes after that, nothing happened. We just sort of passed it around quite nicely, kept it, and limited them to sort of not chasing shadows, but they were trying to get more of the ball, and they just couldn't quite do it.
But you'll understand why there just being a straight ball through makes people go,
oh, absolutely.
What's going on here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was more like that was a bad thing. It was more that Liverpool, in my head anyway, sort of went, well, that's happened now. And I felt like bar one in the second half, didn't feel like they did much more of it, which is what you want to see, really. Like, pre-season's about seeing problems and fixing problems.
But I just don't feel like that's happened. Like, I feel like we've seen the same problem in every single pre-season game we've played, and it only takes one opportunity. For me, it's almost more of an issue that they've had 1 or 2 opportunities and then one of them they've scored from, when it's literally like takes one ball, and then that happened in the last game, and then the game before that. It's like pre-season is learning from things, but I feel like was that our last pre-season game before the season now?
Yes.
And I just don't know how much we've learned about that particular problem, because it still happened.
Yeah, like I'm not saying it didn't happen, but
no, I know.
It was like it happened.
It wasn't against you. It was against the system.
It felt like it was reacted to better than it was against Bayern. Is sort of more where I am.
But they're not as good at football as Bayern.
Absolutely not. But
their fans had a nice time though, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was good.
I'm glad they brought so many over, and there was loads of them at Anfield today.
Oh, really?
There was a coach, I think, yeah.
So people knocking
they
around.
Yeah, no, but also it's a reminder that clubs like Darmstadt don't get to play in cities like Liverpool
imagine
very
how
often.
excited their fans must have got when they thought they were going to Anfield, and then it turns out they're
fucking
not.
Deepdale.
Little central Lancashire day out.
I know, but I mean, they all got to ride
and the last train back to Liverpool's been cancelled as well.
But they all got to ride the X2, which is one of the region's better buses.
Haskane, Hesketh, places you've never heard of.
Places you've never heard of.
Crossings.
There is with the Harriet. There are loads of positives out of the game, but I am actually going to start back with the negatives, which is they do just look vulnerable. There is a soft underbelly. For instance, I don't think McAllister can play that much better. I thought he was great. He was impressive to watch, and yet Liverpool are again still bypassed in midfield, and that to me therefore pulls us back to the idea of, is this a system question?
Well, we had legs in midfield, but even not having the legs in midfield couldn't really counteract the weaknesses of the system, and you kind of see how much that's exposed there. We were speaking, weren't we, before we started recording, and like, he actually does well. He plays a really good game. I think he's as progressive as he can be playing in a 6th role. He's got a really good eye, wins it really well, presses really well. But there's only so much he can do playing in that role, and it begs the question of why is he playing in that role? And it's because ultimately we've got no one else to be there at the moment to play in that 6. So,
but I think even if we had almost any footballer playing in that role, my concern at the minute watching them is the shape, is the system.
I understand that, but I think McAllister's got the kind of tendencies to push forward, so maybe he'd push forward more than a pure defensive midfielder would in that position. Like someone, if they were more defensively minded, would just hang back, and then you'd have them to fill the space in behind when the ball is put over, and they wouldn't all be as high up the pitch. I feel like at the moment in the prep, when they're pushing forward, like Trent goes, and then they all go, and then there's no one kind of left back, and then even Konate is being dragged so far forward.
But this is why I think it's a system thing again, because for instance they all go, and in they all go, I would include Robertson.
Yeah,
Robertson, this is like a choice.
At points in this game, I was like, why is Robertson so high up the pitch? Because it leaves us so vulnerable in behind. But is that just them getting overexcited? And that sounds stupid, but is it them in attack? No, but in attack, they're all like, okay, I want to be part of this. I want to help drive forward.
Well,
and they keep going in attack.
The manager would say, stop doing it. At least to Robertson,
but it works so well in an attacking sense. You see that because they score the 3 goals that they do. So that there is the pros and the cons of it. And Klopp said, any system is going to have its cons, but I feel like the cons are going to be so wildly kind of emphasise against teams that are really good on the counter-attack, and there's so many of them in the league who aren't going to play for possession but are going to try and catch us really quickly on the counter-attack, and that's exactly where our vulnerabilities are exploited.
YouTube, press the button, become a member of the Anfield Wrap from the heart of the city of Liverpool. The best way to enjoy all your Liverpool-based videos, everything you need, every single day. It is the Anfield Wrap.